This is your Uncle TreeJam, and I'm bringing you another episode of Mass Effect 2. Last time we left off, Jacob assisted us at the Lazarus Research Station by helping us gun through squads of hacked mechs. We found Wilson, the chief medical tech for the Lazarus project, and then Jacob revealed the identity of his, Miranda's, and Wilson's employer. They were working for Cerberus, a pro-human shadow organization we encountered several times in 2183 while investigating and pursuing Saren Arterius. After our conversation, we ran to several more hacked mechs before reaching the evac shuttles where Miranda was waiting. Upon seeing Wilson, Miranda immediately killed him and explained that Wilson was responsible for sabotaging the station's mechs. She filled us in regarding Cerberus and took us to meet the elusive man on another station. The shady Cerberus spokesperson revealed Cerberus' intentions for reviving Shepard. They considered the Reapers to be a credible threat and believed the Reapers were responsible for human colony disappearances in the Terminus systems. Our first task was to find out what happened to the human colony of Freedom's Progress. So now that we've debriefed with the elusive man and talked with Miranda and Jacob, I believe we're ready to go for Freedom's Progress. Everything in systems check green, so let's go ahead and get this underway. And there we go, folks. I'm just going to go ahead and read the mission summaries real quick. Shepard escaped the attack on the facility along with the operatives Taylor and Lawson. Facility destroyed by remote detonation. Salvage teams were ensured no incriminating data survived. Per Miranda's recommendation, I'm running security sweeps on other cells to ensure that Wilson was our only mole. Regardless of the cost, Project Lazarus was a success. Shepard is back. And since we've reported a character from Mass Effect 1, we get some bonuses, but here we also have bonuses for beating Mass Effect 2. So we get 25% bonus experience and a whole bunch of credits and resources, and we retain our heavy weapons from previous playthroughs. But I think that's all that we need to remark on. And one thing I will mention again, I did mention this last time, for Mass Effect 2, we're going to be far more limited in terms of the amount of money we make in-game. So just something worth mentioning. But that's all said and done, it's time for us to continue on to Freedom's Progress and figure out what happened to the colonists who dropped out of contact there. And I should mention, just like last time, that this is also going to be a bit of a critique on the story and lore. I'm not going to be nitpicking everything, but there are some moments where I'm going to chime in and offer my feedback on the story.
We should be there shortly, Shepard. The elusive man put us under your command. Do you have any orders?
Are you sure you'll be comfortable following my orders?
We didn't bring you back from the dead just to second guess you, Commander. If the elusive man says you're in charge, you're in charge.
So it seems that's as good as an answer we're going to get from Jacob and Miranda regarding our authority. But let's go ahead and see what they found at the other colonies and see why they think that this investigation will turn up anything new.
What did you find at the other colonies?
Nothing. No signs of attack, no corpses, not even a trace of unusual genetic material to give us a clue. They just disappear, and we've got no target to go after.
What makes you think this investigation will turn up anything new?
At other colonies, official investigators got there first. Sometimes looters or salvage teams as well. We're hoping to be the first ones there this time. Maybe find clues before somebody else disturbs the scene.
Well, it seems that our first priority is to find anyone who might be an eyewitness to what happened on Freedom's Progress. They'd be able to tell us exactly what happened during the time of the attack or whatever took place to lead to the colonists dropping out of contact.
Our first priority is to look for survivors.
That's unlikely, Commander. No one was left at the other colonies. They were completely deserted.
Be nice to find somebody. Anything's better than another ghost town.
Well, I agree with Jacob there. It would be nice. But I guess we'll see who we run into. And here we are. Let me go ahead and make sure Miranda and Jacob are set to go. I'm gonna have Miranda switch it to a... let's go ahead and have her keep her machine pistol out. And while I'm at it, I do want to go ahead and spec in their powers a little bit, so give me just a second, folks. I think I got Jacob to where I wanted him to go. And I'm going to want to spec into my abilities. One thing I'm going to mention real quick is if you're going from Mass Effect 1 to 2, you'll notice that the squad power screen shows far fewer powers than what you might have been used to in the first game. A lot of those abilities have been either combined into other abilities or have been excluded entirely. So, let me go ahead and just spec my build real quick. We are playing Infiltrator, and one new talent, and a very infamous talent, is the Tactical Cloak. It provides a bit of a damage bonus to our attacks, but if we do attack, we break the cloak. It pretty much turns us invisible, and so that also means we can bypass a good number of enemies. It is temporary though, so just keep that in mind. I'm also going to be putting in Disruptor ammo for getting through shields. I'm going to want Incinerate, and I think I'm going to go ahead and put off putting points into Operative until a bit later, so we can get the most out of the Paragon Renegade score bonuses. I'm not exactly sure on the specific mechanics of how the score bonuses work, but I have noticed that when I put points into it later on, the bonuses seem to be much higher for the meters. And finally, we're going to need something into Reeve. Let's go ahead and do that. And there we go. And since this is actually going to be a very small squad selections or a squad talent screen, I'm not going to bother cutting this out, so you guys can get the benefit of seeing my skill specializations, if you are really nitpicky about that sort of thing. Personally, I'm not, but it isn't going to take very long. For Miranda, I'm going to want to have her focus on her 3 skills right here. When we do get her loyalty skill of Slam, I'm not going to put many points into it. I just don't think that Slam is offers any significant advantages to us. There we go. I'm not always going to be talking about powers, but there you go, folks. And let's go ahead and continue forth.
Looks like everyone just got up and left right in the middle of dinner.
So far nothing. No signs of any bullet impacts, no explosions thus far. No signs of damage. It seems that this is exactly what Jacob said. It's basically looking like it's going to be another ghost town. So far. Now those of you who played Mass Effect 2 know this is actually going to be the mission where we encounter a certain familiar face from Mass Effect 1, but I'm going to keep quiet on that for the time being.
Strange. No bodies, no structural damage, and no signs of battle.
And just like Miranda said, there's absolutely nothing to suggest that anything has gone wrong, just from the appearance of the outer portion of the colony. Let's go ahead and grab some spare parts here, get some salvage, and I'm going to make a very quick save right here, just a little manual one. And I'm actually going to do something a little bit unorthodox. We're going to have Jacob and Miranda
Moving to cover!
Affirmative.
take cover here. And you're going to see why I'm doing that.
System not designed for specialized
Sounds like Fenris
ammunition.
mechs.
Strange. Security systems were disabled at the other colonies.
Okay, it seems we have mechs and they're zeroed into our position, so we're going to need to take them out. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of Incinerate.
Impact event.
Let's go ahead and make sure there's nobody else here. We have one mech right there. I might want to deal with this little bad boy.
Nice trick.
Nice. Impact imminent. Impact event. Careful. Requesting assistance.
We're not doing a lot of damage just now, but not to worry.
Combat systems engaged.
And let me go ahead and just do a little bit of incinerate on this guy.
Off.
I'm just going to stay back here and take out the initial wave of enemies, because one thing on Insanity difficulty is that you're not going to want to dilly-dally too much during the combat, because enemies will, if they do manage to close distance with you, or if they manage to stun lock you, that's a good way to get yourself killed.
That was nice trip.
Some enemies more than others.
Shoot them before they take out your shields.
I wonder if I can actually properly target these folks.
Excuse me.
Yep, I can.
Gravity's one
One thing to note is that whenever Jacob uses his ability of pull, it pulls enemies relative to his position. So if Jacob's over there, you can kind of see that mech is actually floating towards him. Similarly, if Jacob were right here, the mech would be flying towards us. You wouldn't think it's much of an issue, but need to keep in mind that sometimes when the mechs are destroyed, they will explode, and that explosion will actually do a little bit of, it can stagger us, so either that or do a little bit of damage, so it's worth noting.
Impact event.
In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and double check on that and make sure that's the case, so hopefully take out this guy before he gets too close.
Attention right!
Ah, come on. Okay, fine. You know what? Okay, yeah, these guys are getting a little too close for us. No, must not do that. Let's do this. And pull right here.
I've got him!
I'm just gonna take my time and show off a few things here and there, folks.
Stun him!
There we go. Let's see if we can take this guy out.
Critical system damage. Chamber offline. Requesting assistance.
Right!
Okay, now I'm gonna move in.
Gear up!
So let's go ahead and take this bad boy out.
Nice trip!
Hopefully he'll fall down. Aww. Want to see if I can get him across the railing. Didn't really work out, but hey.
Fine. Rerouting power. Requesting assistance. Requesting assistance. Rerouting power.
Those mechs shouldn't have been hostile. They should have recognized us as human.
Someone reprogrammed them to attack on sight. We're not alone here.
So it seems that once again we're dealing with hacked mechs, but whoever hacked these mechs intended for anyone to... Not exactly sure why they did that, but it is clear that something went wrong at the colony. But we're gonna have to go and hack this safe real quick. And there we go. 2,000 credits, pretty easy. Get that done.
With you!
I need to get away from using the E button to activate stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and let's have Jacob take cover here.
Got it!
Going now!
Miranda will go there.
Hostiles!
And there we go. Let me go ahead and get a little bit of incinerate on this guy.
I've got him!
I'm gonna wanna
Target down!
back up a bit there. Okay.
Excuse me. Critical Critical system damage. Backup systems engaged. Rerouting power. System failing.
Aww. I wanted to break his arm, but it didn't really work. Well, let's go ahead and grab these spare parts here, and we're gonna have a bit of an encounter coming up with a familiar face from Mass Effect 1, like I mentioned. So let's go ahead and sit back and enjoy the scene.
Stop right there!
Prazza, you said you'd let me handle this. Wait, Shepard?
I'm not taking any chances with Cerberus operatives.
Put those weapons down! Shepard? Is that... you're alive?
So here we go, folks. Tali'Zorah Naraya is alive and well, and it seems that she is back with the migrant fleet. Now, if you remember Mass Effect 1, we did an assignment called UNC Geth Incursions. We obtained a data file regarding the Geth at the end of that. We gave a data file to the Alliance and let Tali keep a copy for her pilgrimage. So let's go ahead and use that opportunity to prove it's us.
Remember when I gave you that Geth data, Tali? Did it help you complete your pilgrimage?
Yes, it did. Prazza, weapons down. This is definitely Commander Shepard.
Why is your old commander working for Cerberus?
I don't know. Maybe we should ask.
I nearly died, Tali. Cerberus spent 2 years rebuilding me. They want me to investigate attacks on human colonies.
Likely story. No organization would commit so many resources to bring back one soldier.
You haven't seen Shepard in action, Prazza. Trust me, it was money well spent. Perhaps we can work together. We're here looking for a young Quarian named Vitor. He was here on pilgrimage.
Everyone else is dead. What makes you think Vitor survived?
We saw him when we landed.
You saw him? Then why isn't he with you already?
Vitor was injured, and he was always, nervous.
She means that he was unstable. Combine that with damage to his suit CO2 scrubbers and an infection from an open-air exposure, and he's likely delirious.
When he saw us landing, he hid in a warehouse on the far side of town. We suspect he also programmed the mechs to attack anything that moved.
Now, technically, on Shepard's line, I'm not sure we've seen dead bodies, so I'm not quite clear why Shepard would respond that way, but anyway. It seems that we're going to need to team up with Tali's forces, and hopefully we can use that as an opportunity to do a little bit of trust building with the Quarians. It seems that the Quarians are not too happy about us being with Cerberus.
Vitor's the only one who can tell us what happened here. We should work together to find him.
Good idea. You'll need 2 teams to get past the drones anyway.
Now we're working with Cerberus?
No, Prazza, you're working for me. If you can't follow orders, go wait on the ship. Head for the warehouse through the center of the colony. We'll circle around the far side and draw off some of the drones to clear you a path.
Your people really don't like Cerberus. What did I miss?
They killed our people, infiltrated our flotilla, and tried to blow up one of our ships.
That's not how I'd have explained it exactly. It was nothing personal.
We can argue over who killed who later. Right now, we've got a job to do.
Agreed. We work together to get to Vitor.
Make sure to keep in radio contact.
Will do. Good luck, Shepard. Whatever happens, it's good to have you back.
Alright, now the incident that they just referenced is actually an incident that took place outside of the Mass Effect 3 game, Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 games. There was actually a series of extra reading books and such you can go and look at, and it describes what happened regarding Cerberus and the migrant fleet.
Be careful, Shepard. There's a squad of security drones up ahead.
Thanks for the warning. We'll take care of them.
Personally, I'm not too big on the novels, I haven't read them, and so any sort of extra lore that goes beyond the first 3 games will be beyond my expertise.
Make activity!
Rerouting power.
Aw, once again I wanted to break this guy's arms, but didn't work. Well, it kinda did, but he was already down for the count. So it's kind of unnecessary. I've got a strange fixation for wanting to dismember robots. Maybe a bit of a concern, but anyways, let's get some 2,000 creds and move on.
Use overload on them.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take cover right in here. This next portion is gonna be a little bit dangerous for us.
Sure thing.
On my way!
Okay. We have 2 assault drones. We also have a rocket drone somewhere in there, right here. This guy can pose some problems for us. So let's go ahead and switch to our machine pistol. Go disruptor ammo. And honestly, I'm better off using the Predator pistol, so screw that. Alright, now let's see if we can hit this guy. Might want to try a sniper rifle with... Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. Now, typically you don't want to use biotic powers like I did on the shielded enemies, but you do still do damage. It'll just be a little bit less than you're used to.
Have a nice trip.
The idea behind this is basically weakening him, getting it ready for Miranda's overload. There you go. Should have another drone or 2 coming in pretty soon.
Gravity's one mean mother.
Now I do want to make a real quick note. Each weapon that you have has certain bonuses against different types of defenses. Heavy pistols are good against armor, but they're not good against shields and biotic barriers. Rapid fire weapons like the machine pistol are good against shields and biotic barriers, but they're not necessarily good against armor, and machine pistols fall into the SMG category. And then you have sniper rifles. The Mantis that we have here is good against armor, but also bad against shields and biotic barriers like our heavy pistol. So just a little quick note on bonuses. If you don't have access to ammo powers, for whatever reason, then it's worth noting. And that's the reason why I wanted to stay inside this little corner and avoid these rocket drones, because they can hurt you pretty bad.
Have a nice trip.
One shot pretty much tanked my shields on insanity difficulty. Now these guys are not too bad to deal with, but if you're caught in a bad position, this can spell pretty bad news for you and your team.
Have a nice trip.
And there goes my... Okay. Now let's go ahead and head outside. Let's see if I can get a little bit of a... Pull?
I've got it.
Didn't do much, but not really surprised.
Drop. Shotgun.
Okay.
Be right there.
Right.
One less!
Shepard, Prazza and his squad rushed on ahead. I told them to wait, but they wouldn't listen. They want to find Vitor and take him away before you get here.
We should have expected this.
Come on. We can still catch them.
Okay. So it seems that the Coin's not going to put too much trust in us, at least the ones who are not Tali. We're going to need to race in order to get to Vitor. Can't really blame them given their history with Cerberus, but it is worth noting it's a bit of an inconvenience for us. Okay, now see if we can trigger the mechs to come out.
Moving!
Okay, there we go. Okay, Miranda,
Moving.
you gotta get behind something. Let's go ahead and focus on the rocket drone. I could use Incinerate, but Reeve I feel is a little bit faster in terms of its ability to get to the enemy in time.
Get over here.
With Incinerate, you have to wait for that fireball to actually reach the enemy. Soften it up a bit. And... there we go.
There we go!
Might be able to get a little bit of a... Let me switch up to another weapon. I think we have another rocket drone, so we're going to target you. And this time I'm actually going to use Incinerate, just to show how long it takes to get to you. Not too long, but there's a bit of a delay, so keep that in mind, folks. And thankfully you're going to stay right there, so I can just go ahead and use that. There we go. Okay, now I'm done with a little bit of plug and play. Let's go ahead and just focus entirely on combat now. You should stay right there. Oh, well, as soon as I say that, you move. And we're going to have Jacob do pull and do some very minor damage against it.
Get over here.
But more importantly, it does do damage. Okay, and we have another assault drone moving in, so... There we go. Should be primed to go down. Alright, now let's go ahead and do a little bit of reeve. Pull.
Have a nice trip.
I can just prime you up. There you go.
Perfect!
There we go. Now, like I mentioned, this is what I'm doing. Softening enemies up for the more useful tech attacks. Incinerate.
We're inside the loading docks. Vitor reprogrammed the heavy mech. It's tearing Prazza's squad apart.
They did want to get to Vito first.
Get your squad into cover and I'll open the loading bay doors.
We'll take cover by the doors. Shepard, you take point.
Alright. Like I mentioned before, the abilities like Reeve and Incinerate may not be as useful against shields, but they do get the job done in weakening the enemy.
Gravity's one big mother, huh?
And there we go.
Take point, Shepard. We'll cover the door.
Let's go ahead and loot the area real quick. And you'll see us me doing this very often, using powers that are not effective against certain abilities, or certain defenses,
We'll take
but
cover by the doors. Shepard, you take point.
those powers still do damage, and if you're waiting for that other power to recharge, like Overload, you can use other powers to help soften defenses.
Take point, Shepard. We'll cover the door.
Alright, let's go ahead and do as Miranda and Jacob say.
Grabbing cover.
Heading to cover!
That mech's got heavy armor plating. Those Quarians never stood a chance.
This is gonna be one tough son of a bitch to take down.
What a waste of good lives. Like, all those men and women pretty much just got gunned down, and they didn't stand a chance. They should have waited. Can't really blame them considering their distrust of Cerberus, but still. What a shame.
Try to overload their shields.
Okay, Jacob, you are not where I want you to be. You too, Miranda. Oh my god.
Understood.
Moving to cover.
Okay, Miranda, please.
Moving!
Alright, well, that's a lost cause. Okay, let's go ahead and have Miranda's overload deployed here.
Here we go!
I'll just break this crate. It's going to be useless to us as cover. Alright. And Miranda, please. Thank you. And now we have to get through the armor. So mechs like these, on standard difficulty, they do have shield, armor, and health that do take a while to get through, so just keep that in mind.
Now let's finish you off.
Now that it has armor, we can use Reeve, we can use Incinerate, we can use Warp to great effect.
Retargeting. Target locked. Rerouting.
Okay, now it's down to regular health, so... And there we go. Now if you do manage to blow its head off, these mechs will self-destruct, so just keep that in mind. You're gonna want to take cover and maintain some distance. Unfortunately, the Quarians that are gunned down are pretty much as good as gone. The survivors of Tali's team were in here, recuperating, and it seems that Tali did survive the fight.
This is your chance to go find Vitor while I tend to the wounded, Shepard. He's probably somewhere in the back of the loading bay.
Alright, and it seems that Tali trusts us to go find Vitor. At the very least, she'll be meeting up with him as well. Kind of strange, I don't think Tali would... I don't know if Tali necessarily wants Vitor to go with Cerberus,
We can use this.
given the potential for any misunderstandings. But it seems that she trusts us, so... More importantly, she trusts Commander Shepard. And there we go, we got 3,000 creds. And let's turn around and pick up these power cells. These are going to be your source of heavy weapons ammo. In the game, if you still have a full stock of metagel and heavy weapons ammo, every time you hit a metagel pack or heavy weapons ammo pack, you will actually get 100 credits every time. And that's another reason I'm trying to minimize my use of metagel and heavy weapons. I want to try and get as much in terms of money in this game. But I believe that's going to be it for this episode. Let me go ahead and close out here, make that save real quick, and we're going to go ahead and call it a night. Alright folks,
0 contacts.
it was a great TreeJam, and I wish you guys a happy day, night, evening, afternoon, wherever you may be in this universe or the next. Next time we pick up, we're going to meet with Vitor and see what he found regarding the missing colonists on Freedom's Progress. And we're going to have a decision to make. And once we're done with that, we're done with Freedom's Progress, and we'll be able to progress with the story regularly. But for now, folks, I'm going to go ahead and tune out, and I'm going to focus a little bit less on describing some of the combat, and a little bit more on just describing the incidents of story and lore. This is going to be an informative Let's Play, and I am going to be analyzing as much as I can with regards to moments of the characters and some of the lore of Mass Effect 2. It's not going to be completely comprehensive. There are other people who are better equipped, more worthy than I am to tackle that, but I believe that's it. Alright, well, take care, and the next time I see you, we will be done with Freedom's Progress, and we'll be venturing around the galaxy to find out more about our mysterious threat to the human colonies. Take care, folks.